What's happening, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here, West Ham Fan TV, back once again with another video. And as you can see by the title of this video, it's not sort of reflecting on Bournemouth, and it's not reflecting on anything nice, really. It's a really, really eye-opening insight into a footballer's life. And I know it's been a couple of weeks. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we went to Prague, obviously, to interview Ludik Miklosko. And we went and done a video at the time at the Eden Arena, which is now the Fortuna Arena, which is Slavia Prague's home, where Thomas came from, and obviously the place where we won our most famous recent European trophy, and the one that I was at, obviously. And there was a party going on. So we tried to get into the stadium, and there was a party being held in one of the hotels, which is attached to the arena. Now, we went and had a little look around. We was milling around for a little while. There's a lot of people in black ties and things like that. And Thomas had gone over to play for the Czech Republic. It was international break when he went. And we later found out that the party that was being held at the Eden Arena when we was there was the Thomas Soucek book launch, which he and Vladimir Soucek and a variety of other players were in attendance, and we just didn't see them. If we'd have saw, I mean, you could see right into the party, and we didn't see them. If we'd have seen them, we would have obviously put two and two together. But there is a chapter in this book, and listen, Thomas Soucek gets his detractors. I'm going to read you this, but. You know, Thomas Soucek gets his detractors, but a couple of weeks ago, I put my praise on him, saying if you want someone to fight for you, Thomas Soucek is the one. And since about 2023, I think it is, he's been doing this helicopter celebration. We've all become synonymous to it. We've seen it many, many times. But there is a dark reason behind the helicopter celebration that really opens your eyes about, you know, these people actually being people. We're guilty of it. Other channels are guilty of it. People on the internet are guilty of it. When you're just constantly, slagging these people off and saying they're not doing their job properly, and they need to buck up their ideas, and they earn a lot of money. And sometimes you do forget that these people are human beings. And I only saw this today, and I've got to give my. I'm sure other people have picked up on it, but I've got to give my opinion on it, because I was going to do something about Bournemouth game. But when you read something like this, it really puts it into perspective just how unimportant that game of football really is. Thomas has got criticism again over the weekend. Not so much Thomas, but Nuno Santos has got criticism over the weekend about bringing Soucek on too early. And, we're saying he's not a starter anymore, but this is a real eye-opening, chapter in his book, and it's been translated into English, so there may be some things that are lost in translation. Now, before we do this, let's go into the reasons that Thomas Soucek is a wonderful human being, right? Now, 8 months ago, he scored the winner or a goal against Leicester. And he's synonymous for his helicopter situation, right? Thomas Soucek was nowhere near West Ham or nowhere near England when this incident happened, right? And he didn't do his helicopter celebration for respect for the Leicester's owners, what happened there. So he actually done his research, and he decided not to do this helicopter situation. That is the type of man and the type of, emotional human being that Thomas Soucek is. So reading this, it's quite eye-opening, and it's quite sad for someone I think should be held in high regard, right? So this is called My Dark Chapter, and as I said, it's been I've not read the book, I've not been sent the book, I'm not reviewing the book, I'm just reading this one chapter. Although if this chapter's got anything to go by, I will be buying the book personally. I won't be getting sent it, but I'll be buying it personally, because this man, he's a real man. He's a real man. So there we go. So let's have a look. It says My Dark Chapter. Do you know what a whoop band is or does? If not, don't worry. I didn't either at first. When I bought one in autumn 2023, I needed someone to explain it to me. It's just a simple black strap on my left wrist that measures my heart rate and sleep quality. You might think another pointless gadget you wear for a week and then throw into a drawer. Well, not for me. You might think, not for me. The app shows when you're overloaded, when you can push harder in training, and most importantly, how you're sleeping. And I wasn't sleeping at all. 2 years of horror. For a long time, I was ashamed to talk about it. Even my parents had no idea anything was wrong until I decided to write it all down. I was so low that I actually considered ending my career. Insomnia, depression, and fear of the future. My secret room. You probably wouldn't believe it, right? Neither can I looking back. I've always been the guy who throws himself into tackles, who plays on with bandages on his head, but this time it hurt in my soul. At first it was just annoying. After a few months, unbearable. I was hitting rock bottom, going into every match completely exhausted from sleepless nights. Every single one. And it's another through my wife's eyes. Looking back, he probably doesn't realise how hard it was for me, says his wife, Natalie. Our second daughter had just been born, and Thomas couldn't sleep for 4 nights a week. He'd walk around the flat, staring at the beautiful lights of London outside, wondering what the point of all the fame and money was if he didn't enjoy football anymore. We'd sit opposite each other in the kitchen, and he'd talk about quitting football just to get some relief. For him, football had always been a life itself. That's how bad it got. When he said he wanted to go and write a book, I asked, are you sure you want to open up like that? He just said, I need to get this out. He wanted people to see behind the curtain, to understand that even the toughest man can suffer. Thomas thought he could run like a machine, but even machines need to stop and rest sometimes. Humans, even more so. Pills, therapy, and the helicopter. I felt invincible, strong as a lion. I had an amazing family, more money than I could ever spend, and yet I had a problem I couldn't fix. The more I tried to fight it on my own, the deeper I sank. I'd go into every match thinking about how I wasn't going to sleep, which of course only made it worse. And that's how the helicopter was born. My goal celebration, when I spin, I feel like I'm taking off. At first, nobody knew what it meant. West Ham had always had a club journalist at matches, and when I did the celebration for the first time in October 23, after scoring against Newcastle, he asked, "What was that, Tom?" My little secret, I told him. Then I did it again and again until he finally asked me one more time, and I said, "I can't tell you. Maybe one day." That day has come. I became the helicopter because despite the bad times, I can still fly. Every time I score, I spin my arms like blades and rise to the sky to touch the stars again. Maybe it looks silly to some people, but anyone who's been through that kind of darkness will understand. Every spin and every flap of my arms, it sets me free. At first, I felt embarrassed doing it. In training, I scored a simple goal and started spinning, and I hoped I wouldn't get dizzy and fall over. My teammates laughed. "Oi, Tom, what was that?" "Nothing important," I mumbled, even though it was the most important thing to me. For a long time, I wanted to keep the meaning to myself, but now I don't. There were nights, first one, then 10, then 100, when I couldn't sleep. Pills, doctors, therapy, depression. That's what a helicopter stands for. It's a symbol of what I've overcome. I love when fans call me the helicopter around the London Stadium. Reporters even asked fans before games, "Can you do the Soucek?" The celebration has become part of West Ham and part of me. It still shows that I can still fight, that I can still rise even when I feel weak or tired. When I score, I lean back, close my eyes, spin, and for a few seconds, I stop touching the ground. It's not about saying everything bad is gone. It's about returning to the roots, to the pure love of football that I lost for 2 years and had to win back. This helicopter is my ceremony. It's my personal way of celebrating the game. I can't imagine life without it. For a long time, I was afraid people would judge me for admitting I had depression, but now, why would I hide it? I don't care anymore about these jokes from back home. I'm a farmer's boy from Brod. I don't care that I'm not as fast as Usain Bolt. I don't care about the online comments. I'm above that now. This is me, Thomas Soucek. Super Tom. or simply the helicopter. My Whoop tracker still tells me my sleep could be better, especially before matches. I really reach REM sleep. For a long time, my wife urged me to open up. Tell them, be honest. No one can take away what you've achieved. But how could I? In top-level football, weakness is dangerous. If you show vulnerability, your opponents will use it against you. And everyone knows 3 rules. Family is life, football is my love, and winning is my drug. I know this football story will end one day, but not yet. I'm still flying, still spinning, still chasing the stars. I think that's very brave of him, especially when you're still playing, especially when you're still at the same club, at the same level. And it goes to show that mental health and depression is in everybody. It doesn't matter what you are, doesn't matter what you do, doesn't matter how much money you've got, how much money you haven't got, but it affects everybody. And I think somebody writing down their thoughts like that to a geezer that, you know, I would say is idolised by a lot of people. I saw him give my young son a shirt, my friend's young son, a shirt the other day. The only one that did, him and Ariola actually. And that's the sort of guy he is. And you would never, ever, 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 ever feel like there was anything wrong in Thomas. His performances never showed. Of course he had bad games. Everyone has bad games. But to admit that is quite, maybe quite emotional, really, because, you know, we are too harsh on these people sometimes. We do forget that these people are human beings and they have lives. And I think doing something like that gives to show that just, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone can suffer. And I would say this to you today. If you are suffering, like Thomas, don't do it in silence. Go and talk to someone, because it's very important that you do. But I thought that was worth talking about more than the 2-2 draw at Bournemouth, to be quite honest with you. Enough. That excerpt of that book has made me go and want to buy that book and support Thomas. Thomas is one of our modern day greats, to be quite honest with you. No one bleeds claret and blue like Thomas in that changing room anymore. Nobody. And I'm going to go and buy that book and I'm going to read it. But thank you very much. That was just a small video on a Monday morning. It was meant to be the morning after the game before, but I thought I'd give you that instead. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching this video. But have a great Monday. Have a great week. Liverpool next. We'll be back. Come on, you Irons.